Hello, welcome back. So what we're gonna do to start is take the pattern that we made before and our fabric folded in half. So we're gonna be able to cut twice from every piece. I'm marking everything with a wax marker that goes away with steam, but you can use a pencil or something depending also on the color of your fabric. And just mark everything all around. In this case, I'm just gonna cut straight away. I'm leaving about a 1/4 inch margin, which is my sewing allowance, and a full inch for the hem. And I'm gonna have all the pieces, so 2 pockets, 2 sides, and 2 fronts. Moving on to sewing, I'm stitching together the front. First of all, I'm joining the pocket to the pocket cut on the front part and stitching it down very close to the edge, like so. This is gonna keep it from bunching up in the end. Then fold it in half and stitch at a 1/4 inch all the way. And this is gonna keep the pocket nice and down. And it's gonna look very nicely finished. Then I'm folding it in half where we marked in the pattern, pinning it down on the top, sewing the bottom shut, same 1/4 inch seam. And then just for now, to keep it in place, I'm putting a pin on the side as well. And that's basically our pocket done. I'm gonna do the same on the other side. So first of all, stitch them together very simply like that. Since this is basically a sandwich seam because they're closed together after with a 1/4 inch seam, when we fold them in half, we don't really need to do anything else because the fabric's gonna stay in place. Otherwise, we would have to do some sort of finishing like a zigzag on the edge, for example, or an overlock. And then I'm sewing together the 2 fronts, same sewing allowance. And basically that's most of the front done. Now to give a better finish, I'm passing all the seams, edges with an overlock. You don't really need to do that in case your fabric doesn't fray, which mine doesn't, but in case you want to give a better finish, you can also use a zigzag stitch with a normal sewing machine right on the edge. That's basically going to do the same thing, and this gives us such a nicer finish. Then I'm gonna stitch down real quick the top of the pocket and the side just to keep them in place. This is gonna be very useful when we're gonna put the front and the back together and put the belt on, because they're gonna act as one piece of fabric. And then I'm gonna take the front part, stitch down. Again, just so we get a better finish, nice flat seam, and we get the seam line on the front. And I'm gonna do the exact same thing on the back, like so. And this is, again, just to add an extra finishing touch, and I'm gonna do this for every seam on the shorts. I'm gonna join front and back, and then fold the hem. Since I put a full inch, I put the marker that you see. It helps me keep the same width all the way. And I just stitch it down with regular straight stitch. I ended up doing one at a 1/4 inch from the bottom as well. You don't really need to do that. You don't even need to do the hem. per se, depending on the look you want and the fabric you want to use, but in this case I just did it. So basically that's the body of the shorts done. See, here's the other seam I made. And now we're gonna make the belt. To make the belt, you can choose the height you want and double it. For the fabric strip, you cut. And I made it in two just because then I can fold it in half. It's an elastic fabric, so I don't need to add any more elastic. And I cut 2/3 of the length of the waistband. So basically that's gonna be the elastic that keeps the waistband in place. And then I pin it on, try to distribute the whole excess fabric from the shorts, just stitch it down, and then I'm gonna pass it through the overlock again for a better finish. And that's basically it. And there you go, you can see that's the super easy short made. You can make it in every fabric you want, and let me know if you try. Bye!